destiny. Different ways that you could define that in English, if you will. It's on? Okay. All right. Session number 4, jumping into class today, on faith and qadr. So belief in its goodness and its evil aspects. Now, if you go to the Arabic here you see the Prophet ﷺ says that you believe in the last day. They don't do it in English here. Let's go to Arabic really quick. If you look here, even though you don't know Arabic, it's fine. I'm just going to break it down to you. So the Prophet says that "An tu'minu billah," and to believe, from the word amana, to believe in Allah, His angels, His books, His prophets, the day of judgment. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then the Prophet repeats the word, "And tu'minu bil qadr khayri wa sharri," and to believe. Where am I at? Really good. To believe in qadr. So the Prophet repeats this word, to believe, twice. But he doesn't repeat it for the angels, or the books, or the prophets, or the day of judgment. But when it comes to qadr, he repeats it again. Why would he repeat again? People lost attention at that time, or what? To emphasize. Why do they need to emphasize that? Why not emphasize the hereafter? Why not angels? Why not books?
Because that's our goal in ICNA. That's what we're trying to achieve.
That we're trying to achieve qadr, like good qadr or something like this?
Like the hereafter, right?
The, okay. What's another example, or what's an example? What's another comment that someone could say? Why did he repeat it twice?
Because qadr is the thing which makes people deviate, most of the time.
Makes
questions.
Right, makes people deviate some of the time, right? Because it's something hard to swallow, right? When you go and you get a car accident, know that Allah already ordained that for you. You're like, oh man, that kind of sucks. Why did Allah already write that I get in a car accident for? That's not fair. So people don't like that type of stuff. That's why there's some groups in Islam that came that Allah created everything, but created the mountains and the earth and humans and stuff. But what goes on every day, that's unknown to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we do it, then Allah knows. When I pick up this pen, now Allah knows, just at the same time I'm knowing that I picked up this pen. He didn't know that beforehand, right? Or if you can see a problem with that, that means Allah is not all powerful. He's not all knowing. If God's not all knowing, then what kind of God is that, right? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, He's Alim, He's all knowing. His knowledge encompasses everything. So that means He already knew that I was going to pick up this pen right now. You know I was going to drop it right now. You know it's going to fall in my lap. Right? But see, that's already known to Allah subhanahu. But does that mean that I was forced to do that? No. How? Explain that one. That's why that's why it's repeated twice. Exactly. Your face will express it.
There's certain aspects that are predestined, but then a lot of smaller things in between, or the way that we react to certain events are free will.
Right. Okay. So this whole concept of everything's predestined, but you have free will, it's kind of almost sounds like an oxymoron, right? It's like, saying yes and no in the same statement. What do you mean yes and no? You're going to be one or the other. The way one time one of my teachers broke it down to me, he said qadr is like a movie. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already watched the movie of your life, and now it's going to be rewind back, and now it's being played. So I knew the first time you're watching it, so the first time you've seen it now. So you don't know that what's going to happen. Oh, I picked up this. But Allah already watched the movie already, pretty much. It's been recorded already, right? So He already knew that you were going to pick up this pen, but you didn't know it, right? So you're not all-knowing. But see, Allah has that privilege to watch that already, right? And that's what to understand, that He already knew that was already going to happen because He already ordained it, right? So people don't like it when they said that's already been ordained for you to go to Jannah or Jahannam. And people say that's not fair. Well, no, it is fair. Go ahead, believe right now or not believe. Is someone forcing you to believe right now or not believe? No. No one's forcing me to pick up this pen. I can do it if I want, I can let it go, right? There's no power that's pushing me in there at all, right? Now, there's something you don't have qadr, you don't have choice in. What are some things you don't have choice? When you're going to die. When you're born. Who's your parents going to be? You don't get to choose that. When your little baby comes out, I want this guy to be my mom, or I want this dad, my dad. You can't have that. Death, some people said, look, I could choose when I could die. I could go right now and jump off a building. Right? People think that, like that, right? And this is an example of people actually did that, they didn't die. They fall down, end up breaking a leg, and now they're in the hospital. Go ahead.
So I know, when you die, that is already predestined, but is the same true for how you die?
Good question. So everything is already predestined. That's why.
I mean, like when you die, that's something that's unavoidable. But in terms of how can that be changed depending on certain choices that you make in your life?
So we'll go into this topic. That's my bonus topic for tonight or for today. Is that can you change qadr? Can your dua change your qadr? So we'll go into that inshallah ta'ala. We'll save it at the end because it'll keep you guys suspense and at the edge of your seats inshallah ta'ala. Right? So we'll go at the end. That'll be the last topic I go over. So we'll talk about that inshallah. So let's go over a couple of points here because I might answer some of your questions. So qadr number one that you have to believe is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's knowledge is all encompassing knowledge. What does that mean, all encompassing? Oh, let's go back to this. I had another cool point about this one. Punishment in the grave. Is that punishment, right? We say you have to believe in that. You're going to get tortured or you're going to have pleasure, right? Is that on your body or is that on your soul? So I heard a bunch of I have no idea what that was. It sounded like a bunch of snakes or something. I don't know what it was. Like birds. Soul. Soul. Everyone's soul, right? You guys are all soul people, right here. Like I'm in Louisiana. Soul food.
Soul and body.
Soul and body.
Yes.
So, okay, good. So some people said it's the soul because this body was for this world. Remember I told you the barzakh is what does that mean? It's a barrier between what?
This world.
This world and next. So this world is for what? Flesh and bones. You pinch me, ouch. Right? The next world is about soul gets punished. Right? How is that understood? There's multiple ways that you can understand that, but that's something else we'll find out sooner or later, right? But so you're in the middle. So how does that work? So Imam Nawawi rahimahullah mentioned that it will happen to both your soul and your body. And I know this stuff, honestly, if you will Google punishment in the grave, I know Google's not the most authentic thing, and you go to images or something, you'll see that they dig up bodies and they found out that they found snakes in people's coffins. They found bodies that are already like abused, like they have bruises on them. They just buried the guy, and it's like a couple hours later they dug them up because of some medical reason. I forgot. I don't know. They forgot to do autopsy or some kind of something, and they found that he already had bruises on him already, right? And it was known that he didn't pray and all this kind of. He was a Muslim person, right? On stuff like this. So Allahu Alam. But one thing, so there's an opinion that's only on the soul. The opinion that's only on the body. And some people said that, like I said, be soul on body, which makes sense. It's a barzakh, and it's between. So that kind of makes a little bit of sense, if you will, there. So that's something just to think about. And some more reading material I can give you on that if you want. Go back to the qadr. So here, one thing is that to believe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's knowledge is encompassing, meaning that it incorporates everything. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, this is a very beautiful ayah. Like this is one of the ayahs in the Quran where you're like, wow. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah An'am, Surah chapter number 6, Surah An'am, is known like the Surah of Tawheed, meaning like it's really a lot about Allah's attributes, His characteristics, His oneness, etc. It's a nice one to read. It's quite long, but nonetheless, it's very good. So one of the ayahs here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وعنده مفاتح الغيب لا يعلمها إلا هو ويعلم ما في البر والبحر وما تسقط من ورقة إلا يعلمها ولا حبة في ظلمات الأرض ولا رطب ولا يابس إلا في كتاب مبين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that with Him are the keys of the unseen. Yeah, what do you mean keys? Like you open up things? No, the knowledge of the unseen, right? How Jahannam, and we already believe Jahannam and Jannah is already created. It's already there already. Okay. Technically, what we believe that people are already there already too. Right? Remember, Allah already saw the movie, so He already created that already. Okay. None knows them except Him, and He knows what is on the land and the sea. Okay. Look at this ayah; it's really awesome. And not a leaf falls, but He knows it. Right? They always have this this saying: if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? Right? It's like this philosophy thing. It makes you go like crazy, right? So not a leaf falls, but He knows it. And no grain is there within the darkness of earth, and no moist or dry, whether it's moist and dry, but it's written in a clear book. If you look at this ayah, let's do a little tafsir lesson now. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says He knows what's in the heaven, in the land and the sea. What does He mention after that? Sraj.
Then the leaf.
That there's not a leaf that falls, but he knows it. And then after that, he mentions what? A grain in the ground. And then he mentions what? Whether it's dry or moist. Why does he break it down that way? What type of steps is he? Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala word it the ayah that way, if you will? Because he's playing with our psychology. Not playing with it, but he's answering questions that pops in your head. Because if I tell you, if Allah, some atheist or some person comes in here and I tell him, like, no, God knows everything that happens in the world. And what are they going to say? Okay, if a leaf falls in the forest, does he know it? Boom. Right? Okay. If there's a seed in the ground, can you see a seed in the ground? No, you can't. So does God know that? Boom, Allah knows it. Now, does that seed, why does Allah say if it's dry or moist? What does that mean? What do seeds do in the ground? Grow. But how do they grow? They need what? Water. Whether it's been, water got to it and it's broken open, or it's still dry. So Allah even knows in depth what happened to that little seed there, whether water finally got to it moist, or is it dry? Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answers your questions as He goes. Like, how about this? How about this? Allah breaks it down in His knowledge, how deep His knowledge is about everything. Like, it was one of the ayahs when you read, like, you have to make sujood, and it's like, be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The way that He breaks out how deep His knowledge is, right? So His knowledge is encompassing. He knows everything, right? Even the fine details of things, right? He didn't create everything, but He knows the fine details of everything. Belief in the record, in the preserved tablet. Allah al-Mahfuz. What does that mean? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, indeed, or hadith, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, indeed, I heard the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam say, narrated the Prophet said, verily the first of what Allah created was a pen. Okay? Then He said, told the pen, write al-qadr, write the destiny of everything. What it is, what it shall be, until the end. Okay? And the pen wrote. So where is this writing happening? What notebook is happening? This, what we call, is called the preserved tablets. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the preserved tablets in one surah. Surah Buruj, right? Chapter number 76. No, not 76. 80 something. You have to look that up, sorry. So Surah Buruj. B-U-R-U-G. R-U-J. R-U-J. B-U-R-U-J. Right? Surah Buruj. Right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wrote everything in these preserved tablets. So from this hadith, we understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala recorded everything. Me and you, what happened to us, we're going to Jahannam, we're going to Jannah, inshallah go to Jannah, right? Accidents, sick, old, everything is already written there already. So we believe it's already recorded, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the pen to do this, so it's already there. Okay. Number 3, if you have questions for any of these things, go ahead and ask. Number 3, belief that everything that happens in this world is from the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when someone gets married, when someone has a baby, when someone graduates college, it's from who? From Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now how about if somebody gets killed? How about someone gets run over by a train? How about when baby gets kidnapped and someone kills that baby? I know it's really sound like terrible, but I'm doing this for a reason. Is that from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also? Muslim said yes.
It's from His will.
It's from His will.
Because He could have interceded and stopped it from happening, but He willed to allow it to happen.
Will allow it to happen. Okay. Anyone else wants to give a shot at that? Everyone's like the graduation and the marriage story, I know. But no one likes the second part. You have to keep it balanced here. Okay. So we said that even evil things is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But out of etiquette, we don't attribute that to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We say that, like our brother Dalen mentioned, is that it's from Allah's will. But we attribute the evilness to what is maqdur. Who carried out that evilness? Right? That president, that murderer, right? That thief, right? We said that is evil, right? Allah gave you that person the capability. Yes, I already known that would be done, but like I said, Allah already watched the movie. One thing, like if you guys I don't know if anyone here has been a teacher before, but if you have someone who goes to class, sits in the front row, right, takes notes, goes to your office hours, will the teacher say this guy's going to pass or going to fail? But the class hasn't finished yet, right? Now, if someone sits in the back and doesn't come to class, doesn't take notes, right? Already didn't do good in a couple quizzes, the teacher is going to say that, you know what, this guy's probably going to what? Fail. Is that fair that the teacher's already saying that? No, but the teacher knows because, you know what, even if that kid says, no, give me another chance, then what? Most likely what, he's probably not going to fail again, probably not going to pass again, right? But the teacher, the student in the front, so by the attributes, by the character, the teacher even knows what the destiny would be of that person. And he might be wrong, but just because of what? The characteristics. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already knows, because He knows our characteristics, He knows our wills, He knows our desires within us. He knows that we like to sleep, we like to eat, we like to do this, etc. Right? So therefore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already knows that already, because He created us. Right? If you guys build a structure and you say, you know what, within 5 years it's gonna break. Right? Why? Because you're the one that created it. Like the guy that does your roof. He said, in 20 years your roof, you're going to need a new roof. Like, why are you telling me that for? Right? Like when I bought my house, the guy's like, oh, your water heater most likely in 2 months is going to break. So I think we should install a new one. I was like, no. I'll wait for it to break first and then we'll install it. I'm not going to pay $1,000 for another new water heater right now. Right? But since he knows that, he was like, this is most likely what's going to happen. Why? Because he dealt with water heaters. How many water heaters in his life? Not millions, maybe, or hundreds. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala dealt with how many humans in his life. So He knows. Right? It's not like a surprise already. That's why we said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't give miracles to the prophets all the time, because He knows they did it to the earlier prophets and what? It didn't work. People saw the miracle and they didn't buy into it. So it's not really that they need miracles to believe, if you will. So anyhow, so like I said, I went a little bit on a tangent there. So going back to this, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that everything's, Allah written everything in the book already.
Can you explain the last part of the baby killing and all that stuff? And because it's sort of happening in the world, you know? And,
Yes.
And then people like, why is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala letting this happen?
Very good.
So I want to learn how to explain this.
Very good. So one thing, like I said, one is etiquettes we attribute, even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already ordained negative, bad torments to happen, killing, murders, tornadoes, earthquakes, right? And but we say out of etiquettes we attribute that to the person that does that, even though we say that was Allah's will and it happened. Okay. Now, why do bad things happen? We're more of a question. Why do killings happen? Why do people steal babies? Why do earthquakes happen and tornadoes happen? Right? What do you guys think? Why does Allah just make it like everyone just doesn't, abuse each other? There's no earthquakes. There's no, typhoons that come, right? Why not?
Well, one of the things I've been looking into the Prophet's life is that his whole life has been, an orphan and, his own babies dying and daughters being divorced and whatever, lots of, issues.
Right.
Most of his daughters died before he died.
Right.
So he saw a lot of them. So as the Prophet, why didn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he was poor, he wasn't rich. Give him, how you explain that to somebody else? It's like you might have it in here,
Right.
but it's really difficult to explain to somebody else that there's so many things happening. Well, why are doing this for us?
Very good. So there's a couple of ways to answer that. Number one, how are you going to know goodness if you don't know evil? How would you know goodness if you don't know the opposite of it? You will never know it. That's why some of the scholars said that everybody will see Jahannam on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Even though you're going to Jannah, you will see Jahannam. Why? Because then you'll appreciate Jannah. But if you never, like that was like a song that we have in America, right? You don't know a good thing until it's gone, right? You don't know a good thing until it's gone, right? You take your parents for granted, but when they pass away, then you're like, yeah, I don't have no food anymore. I don't have no one to support me anymore, right? Your mom's not just there for food, but anyhow, she's there for other things, right? But all these different things, you don't know a good thing until it's gone. So the thing is that one of the hikmah, the wisdoms is that if we don't have some type of evil happening, how would we know goodness? How would we know righteous people if we never have bad things? If we don't have people to help who are homeless on the street, how would we know who are the ones who are going to go out and actually go and feed them, right? How would that be done, if you will? Everyone would just be good. Everyone would just go to Jannah, if you will, right? But also, because since Allah gave us free will to do good, how would Allah test us, right? If there's no negative, right? You can't take that knife and you can't stab anyone. You only can cut the steak with it, because that's all you know, right? No, Allah gave you that option. How are you going to use that knife? How are you going to use that gun, if you will, right? So to differ between the two things, that's one of the reasons why. And also, certain times negative things happen to us, bad things happen to us, because Allah wants us to get us to somewhere. For example, you guys know the story of Yusuf alayhi salam? Okay. So at the end of the story, Yusuf alayhi salam, Joseph, ends up being the minister of finance in the palace of the king. Now, do you think that, first of all, this was in Egypt and he was in Palestine. Do you think that he could have walked over to the king's palace, knock on the door, "Oh king, I want to be the finance minister"? Do you think he said, "Oh yeah, sure, we've been waiting for you to come and knock on the door"? You think that would happen? No. So how is Yusuf from Palestine going to get to Egypt? And his dad loves him so much that his dad will not let him go. So guess what? He got to get thrown down into a well. Good or bad? Bad thing. Has to get sold into slavery. Good or bad? Bad thing. He has to be thrown into the prison. Good or bad? Bad. Because he's in the prison, then the king finally realized that he is a truthful person. And he's honest. And he can interpret the dream of what's going to happen to Egypt, about the famine for 7 years, etc. Oh, now he's the finance minister. But if that doesn't happen, you can't just go knock on the door. Right? Those maybe Dalen or those people who came to Islam, were not born Muslim, could tell you a bunch of things that led them to Islam. Right? Before I used to hate Islam, I'm not saying this is a story, but I used to hate Islam, I used to, whatever, this and that, but then that encouraged me to buy a Quran one day, because I wanted to burn it, but then I decided reading it. Umar radiallahu wanted to go out and find the Prophet and go kill him, and when he was walking with his sword, someone told him, "Hey, your own sister became Muslim." And his intention was to kill the Prophet. Within like a couple hours, he's asking the Prophet, "I want to become Muslim." So even though that's a bad intention, but sometimes Allah uses these certain things to get you certain ways, right? I know a sister that was supposed to fly on the same plane that on 9/11 that crashed into the Pentagon. But she was rushing out of her house and she left her ticket at home and she had to go back and get it. And therefore missed the flight. Bad or good thing you missed your flight? Very bad. Right? Everyone knows when you go to an airport, everyone's like tense. You gotta get there, get ready, take your shower. Why didn't you pack last night? Right? And you're all arguing and people are throwing things at each other, right? Right? And then what? And then we get there like, "Oh, you missed your plane," and everyone's pointing fingers. This happened to me in Hajj. We missed our flight to go to Hajj. Right? We had to go to Toronto first to meet the group. So we missed our flights from LA to Toronto. We still had time to catch the flight the next day. But everyone was super angry and everyone's blaming each other. And I told my mom, "You know why this happened for? Because if you can't have patience for this, you're going to fail for Hajj. When the bus doesn't move and the food comes late, and while you're in Hajj and you're with your ihram, you're supposed to be super holy, you're arguing with people and you're ruining your Hajj." So Allah gives you a little test. If you can't even survive the LAX test, you're not going to survive the Hajj test, right? So I'm glad that this happened. And we still have like 2 or 3 days to get over there. We were just going early to visit family, right? So if this stuff, Allah needs us to do these certain things. Now, is it sad that person, John, it was on the street in the rain, and it's not me? Why did Allah pick him and not me? Yeah, that's sad, right? But for us, we see sadness. But in Allah, it's all wisdom. Because you know what? Allah knows that if John had $1 million in his bank account, he would have bought the biggest car, the biggest house, he would have forgot Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you know what? He would have never be righteous. But Allah knew that this is the best lifestyle for him. Now, of course, he's living on the streets like, no way. Finding food every day and only having 2 pairs of clothes. Who could say, no, that this is the best lifestyle? You know what? Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows it. Right? So that's why some people are blessed with wealth and some people are not. Right? Because Allah knows that if you give him more wealth, guess what? You would abuse it. And guess what? If you were too poor and Allah would take your wealth, guess what? You would have lost your faith. So that's why some of them are rich, some people are poor, etc. Now, it's hard to believe all that, right? But that's why Allah is Al-Hakim, He's the most wise. I always tell everybody that if you believe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all wise, then you will never complain. Because the one who's all wise ordered your mom to pass away, or ordered the cancer to be in that person, and ordered that person to have diabetes. And if that's done by wisdom, then guess what? Alhamdulillah, I don't understand the wisdom. Like Musa alayhi salam and Khidr. You guys know the story of Musa alayhi salam and Khidr, right? Musa didn't understand. Why did you kill a boy for? That's crazy. You just kill a little small kid. Oh, you know what? He was going to grow up and turn his parents into disbelievers. Oh, I didn't know that. Exactly. That's why we told you to have patience and not ask questions, right? But in this world, we don't have Khidr to tell us the hikmah of things. This is the reason why you're on welfare. This is the reason why you got cancer, right? You don't have that. So that's why it's called Iman. You have to believe in Qadr, right? That's why it's not a pillar. It's not an action you do. It's just something happens in your heart here, right? Go ahead, I'm going to ask them.
I noticed, you were giving just example of being the baby. For the parent, it could be qadar, that there's, kid would be taken. But the one who killed it or kidnapped it, it won't be in the qadar. He did it because the guidance was there to do bad thing or do the right thing. Would it be in his qadar too that he killed the baby or kidnapped the person, the evil being?
Right. That's why the Prophet mentioned and took me to Qadr because everything is Qadr. Even the guy who stole the baby. So maybe a lesson for the parents that you know what, you weren't thankful for this kid, so guess what, we're taking him for you. But it's also for this guy, because maybe because of him taking this baby, you know how crazy that sounds, he might realize something at the end. What the heck am I doing? Right? My whole life I've been doing this, because of whatever. People do all kind of crazy, sick things in this world, right? Not to get started on that list. But all of it's Qadr. Qadr meaning what? It's already, that was destined for that person, right?
But doesn't it include the freedom of choice when Allah says that hadaya will come to you, and if it is up to you who will do the good or it is up to you who will do the bad, wouldn't it?
Right. So Allah Subhanahu wa Taala says in Surah Yasin and Surah Baqarah, we turn the second page of Baqarah on the top there, verse number 5 or 6. Where Allah Subhanahu wa Taala says that whether you warn them or don't warn them, they won't believe. Some people don't like that verse. And Surah Yasin is even a little bit harder, where it says that they won't believe. They have a barrier in front of them and a barrier behind them. And the law has taken away their, I forgot exactly what it says, but it talks about a barrier being in front and being behind them. Meaning that you're saying that's sad. Why would Allah put a barrier in front of people for? Remember I told you about the example of the teacher? The guy who doesn't come to class, doesn't want to be helped, right? And we're trying to take the exam at the end of the year. Doesn't matter if you take that exam or not, you're not going to pass. The teacher knows that. Every other kid in the class knows that. He doesn't even come with a backpack. He doesn't even bring a notebook to there. How are you going to pass the test, right? So whether you try to guide that guy or not guide him, it doesn't matter. He's still going to fail. Because he's not putting any effort in. And the teacher knows that. So no, save yourself, register for the class next year. So Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is kind of like that teacher, but in an alternate sense, even higher. That he already knows that it doesn't matter if you guide this person or not guide him, or try to guide that person, or not, they're still not going to believe. Right? Like Abu Lahab, where Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala says in the Quran that he's going to be what? Carrying fire. His wife is going to be carrying fire on the Day of Judgment. A lot of people, scholars have said that if Abu Lahab would have took Shahada right after that, he would have disproved the Quran. But Allah knows that I'm going to reveal this to you. You still have time to believe, but I know you're not going to do it. That's how much trust I have in my verses. You could prove the Prophet wrong right now, prove the Quran wrong, right, and totally ruin the whole message, but Allah knows that He's not going to do it, and so I'm even telling you right now. And we all know He never did. Right? And that just shows that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did something, that's amazing, right? So that shows you that, Allah knows that. Like I said, He saw the video already, right? And He knows stuff, right? He knows that this guy that's his heart. That's the way his heart is. He only does evil. That's all he can see. He can't see anything else. Doesn't matter. He's too deep already, right? Maybe he might come out like Omar that one, right? But not everyone has that, right? That's just not the norm of people, which is sad. But anyhow, that's kind of life, if you will.
That means that if we do not use our capabilities which Allah has given us, then we will tend to do whatever distant.
Right. Sorry, say it again, sorry.
Meaning whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us some qualities, some resources to know what is good, what is liked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we do not use those qualities, then whatever is written for us is going to be happening to us. Is it?
Yeah. Well, everyone has qualities. Everyone has ability. Right? Everyone in this room could go and pray the Dhuhr in an hour, or fall asleep. Right? Everyone has that ability to do that. And now that's where free will comes in. Right? You're going to take that baby or not take that baby. So people, Allah gives us rationale. Right? Remember I told you that the last week that we have rationale and we also have what? Desires. Right? That I want to take this baby away despite this family. Right? Usually sometimes usually families that this happens to, right? People get upset in divorce cases and stuff like that, right? You have the Amber Alerts go on the freeway, right? Because someone wants to take the baby and won't get custody or whatever. Because those are people's desires and people's hearts, right? And that's all free will. That's all their decision from them that want to take on this role, right? You all know when someone gets you mad, you're like, okay, this is a turning point. I'm either going to yell back at that person, or I'm going to walk out of the room. You're always at the fork in the road. And sometimes you're like, ah, and you go and you just let out fire. And somebody like just, and you walk away, right? You all have that option. Right? You all have that option. That movie being playing right now, right? So either you have to pick it or not. Yeah, Allah knows exactly what you're going to do because Allah is Allah. Right? He's not a human. That's why His knowledge is all encompassing. Right? It was already written already. Right? Like I said, it's hard to swallow it, and it's hard to explain it to people. That's why most of the scholars say don't indulge in it too deep, because because it's not something you can understand. Right? Remember, like I said about the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He has no beginning. You guys could tell me here, and I could even try this for the next hour to explain that to you. And believe me, you guys will all walk away saying like, you just have to believe. I don't know how to. He explained it. He went for an hour talking about it. But for us, it makes no sense because we have no understanding of something not having a beginning. Right? Everything has to have a beginning. Right? Today started at whatever, 12 o'clock, 12 a.m., right? Sunday never started before that. All we know is that it had to start at a certain time. You can't start any other time, right? Right. So that's the way it is. Like I said, you just have to have iman and faith in it. Right? Like I said, it won't affect you on a daily basis, right? Like I said, in the next hadith we're going to go over incorporates qadr a little bit. So I'm holding off on some things. Where the next hadith goes about where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that in the stomach, after 4 months, an angel comes and says that this person's going to go Jannah, Jahannam. This is a person's deeds. This is a person's time of death is written for them, right? So don't worry, Qadr, we're not done with Qadr yet. That's all next week too. So we'll expand a little bit on it, inshallah. Okay? Good? We're semi-good. So Qadr believes in the 4 aspects that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in this ayah. الذي له ملك السماوات والأرض ولم يتخذ ولدا ولم يكن له شريك في الملك وخلق كل شيء فقدره تقديرا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that to Him belongs the dominion in the heaven and the earth, who has not taken His son and not had given him a partner in His dominion, and has created each thing. So Allah created each thing. Not just that, and determined it with precise determination, with qadr. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you in the Quran, I created everything, all of you, but I gave you that qadr, the ability, and I make everything precise already. What are you going to do? Every breath that you have. Okay? And we'll go back a little bit later about if your good deeds get, if you could change qadr, inshallah. Next thing that we have is inform me about ihsan. Next question that we have from Jibreel alayhi salam is that akhbirni an ihsan. Inform me about ihsan. Ihsan means, and I like to say excellence. Okay? Excellence means to exert the utmost effort in goodness. You can't do ihsan in sin. Okay? Right? Yes, it doesn't work that way. There's other ways that we could define it. This is the station. It's called mushahada. What's mushahada? Comes the word from shahada, like Shahid, my name. That means to see, to witness. And you witness Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in all your actions. Right? Like almost plays into the word taqwa. What do you mean you see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in all your actions? That's going to be the next line of the hadith. So I'm going to hold off a little bit on that. To feel shy to direct attention to other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in salah, for example. Right? That you're always mindful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have the super attentive heart attentive mindset of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, while I'm saying this, all of you are probably saying like, wow, I wish I could have that. You can't. And if I'm saying you can't have that, but if you do get to that level, you can't stay at that level. It's just like, it's too much concentration, right? Like you'll just start thinking about your cell phone or your emails or your belly's, grumbling. It's hard to stay at ihsan level all the time, but you try, if you will. To hesitate to busy your heart with other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So scholars define it ihsan in multiple, so I put multiple definitions here, right? So that you always have your Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your heart. What does that mean? That you're always thinking of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He wants me to do good, right? He wants me to, pray with this. He wants me to go home and help this person out. He wants me, if I'm driving and I see somebody on the side of the road, I'll pull over and help this person. Like you're always thinking about what Allah wants, only goodness, if you will, right? Your heart's just like full of this type of tender-heartedness, if you will. Perfection of worship, to observe the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, bring in the heart the greatness and grandeur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala while in worship, right? That meaning that you're only doing it for Allah's sake. It goes back to the intention hadith, the first hadith that we took. You're only doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not to impress this person or that person, not to win an award, all these type of different things. Now what does it mean, mushahada? That's going to go in the next part of the hadith. I'll let you guys write down a little bit more. Give you some more time. Al-ihsan. So we said mushahada is that to be able to witness Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your actions. So the Prophet ﷺ defines that a little bit in the next wording of the hadith, where he said that that you serve Allah as though you could see Him, that you serve Allah, you worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as if you could see Him. We all know that we can't. That means that when you're eating, it's like you think Allah's in front of you. Like I'm gonna say Bismillah, I'm not gonna waste my food. Right? It's like a camera there in front of you, right? That's better to use the word camera. It makes a little more sense, if you will. Right? That, what I always like to say,